Hi, I got tea going, but this time it's not for me to drink. This is to create some beautiful papers. I'm going to make put another kettle on, so I actually have a cup too, and then we'll get started while this cools off a little bit on doing some tea dyeing. You want to join me? This is the tea in my cup, or at least it's going there. You can hear the kettle going in the back. This is a green tea with lavender and little bits of mango and strawberry. It smells delicious. Hi everyone, my name is Mary Lou, and this is Create Junk Journals with Mary Lou. So what I am going to do today is I have some paper and I have a couple of other ingredients, and I'm going to do some tea dyeing. I am in desperate need of some paper when you are creating journals that are that are 3 signatures and 12 pages per signature. You're going through your paper really quickly. So that is why I am deciding to show you how I do my tea dyeing. I've had a couple of people ask me about it. All right, I am ready to go. So first off, I boiled my water, put it in here. So this is 1 kettle of water, and that is 1.5 liters of water. So that makes about 6 cups of water. That's plenty. You don't need more than that. I've thrown some black tea in here, and it is just steeping away. If I want it a little darker, sometimes I add a little bit of instant coffee to the mix just to get it just that little bit darker. But today I really want to just use the tea dye. I have been working with the tea and coffee mix this week already too, so I don't need any more. I want some really vintagey looking paper from the tea. Tea just by itself is very acidic. So I'm going to take the acidity away a little bit. And I do that by putting in a teaspoon of baking soda. So I have my baking soda, and this is 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm just pouring in 1/2 teaspoon first, and then taking another 1/2 teaspoon, and together that makes 1 teaspoon. Yay! I know math. There we go. So now that I have the baking soda in it, I'm just going to stir it up so that it is going to mix the tea really, really well. And I don't want them falling into the water. I want them to just hang over the sides so that they're not hanging into the paper. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do little batches of 10 and 20 or 10 sheets at a time. So I have some regular copy paper, and I have some graph paper. Now the graph paper I can't leave in there for very long, because as soon as I let it sit for a long time, the blue dye from the graph pieces will come off. So I just put that in. I am using my spoon, and because it's really hot still, so I just push it down a little. There. I want some crinkles, so I'm just gently crinkling it up a little bit, and then I will pull it right out of the water and put it onto my towel. That is going to be my process. I think it's still too hot to put my finger. Oh, no, I can put my fingers in. I prefer putting my fingers in. Oh, no, it's too hot. So there we go. I'm just carefully wrinkling it up, and I'll put it right back on here. So for the graph paper, I just want just plain tea. Nothing more, nothing less for this stage. Ooh, come on. I do want it to lay flat. And it's not overly cooperating. Come on, baby. Let me lay you down flat. There, much better. It'll have a wrinkle in it, but that's okay. That's all right. I lay it down flat because now I don't have to iron it. Once it is dry and I put it under, well, I wait until it's about 99% dry. So it still has a little bit of moisture left in it. And then I just put it under a heavy book, and I put my yoga blocks on top, and then I put some weights on it, and that gives it enough weight to flatten the paper back out. So I really don't iron my paper because I don't have time to do that. I'm always very careful with the first few, and then I get a little rougher as time goes on. But I'm always careful when I have wet paper to make sure that I don't rip it. Oh, there goes the tea bags. And I'm keeping them in there so that they get, the water gets the full effect of the tea dye or of the tea bags. It's a nice strong tea. You can't drink this. This is pretty yucky. There. Whoops. Oops. So the tea bags decided they don't want to be in the water anymore. They were all falling in, and then, yeah, it was just turning into a mess. So I'm going to try something, and I want to see what happens if I just lay them onto the paper. I have squeezed the liquid out of them, so now I'm just laying them down on here and see what happens when it dries, what comes out of it. It's always interesting to just try something different. There, one more. Ta-da! All right, now let's just carry on with our regular program. So there we go. That is just the regular tea dye with graph paper. And it is laying flat here. So I'm just going to move this over to the other side so it can just stay there to dry. So the next thing I want to do is a little different. I have here a box full of onion skins. I did dampen them a little bit so that they're a little easier to maneuver. When they are really dry, they are really hard, so they are dampened a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. I am taking my paper, same as before, dyeing it, or putting it in the dye. I'm laying it down on the towel, and I'm grabbing some onion skins and putting them down on here. Oh, my tea smells really good. There, grab a few more. I'm only doing 10 sheets, so I have lots. Okay, and then I'm taking the next one. And I am laying that right over top of it and pushing it down just a little. Put the next one in the water, and meanwhile I'm putting some more onion skin on here so that we get a good start. I want lots of color and get it to look a little orangey and fall-like and rusty. The colors from onions are absolutely incredible. There, that can just sit like that. And I'll just pick this up and move it over because it's easier for me to move to the left. All right, I have reloaded my paper. I have 10 sheets of graph paper and 10 sheets of a little bit heavier copy paper. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do a lot because I don't need a lot of it, so I'm just going to do some graph paper in the exact same way. Just like that. I want it to be, I'm putting the next one in because I want it to be a little darker than that. So because I want this one to be a little darker too, I have a little spray bottle here, and I'm just pouring a little bit of the tea dye into my spray bottle, and I'm spraying this down with some of the tea dye so that it will become a little darker. And then I'm going to grab my trusty little half a teaspoon, and I have some turmeric. Now turmeric will stain everything yellow, so I'm being very careful, and I'm just pouring a little bit on here to see what will happen. And it smells so good, so good. Okay, and I'll just put this right over top of it, push it down, grab a little bit more. And once it dries, this turns back to powder, so you can wipe the powder right off and it'll just leave the dye behind. I like that a lot. Okay. I'm just going to put a bunch of paper in here so that it'll be nice and dark. When I'm ready, I've used turmeric before and then I used it wrong. So that's why I'm being very cautious right now, because I don't want it to be all over. My whole house smelled like curry for days from the turmeric. There we go. I think I have enough of the turmeric paper now. So I'm just, again, going to move it over. So now for my next trick. And these papers are going to be able to stay right where they are. I'm just going to move the bin with the onion papers. And I will fill this back up because I'm going to need it. And I'm taking a lot. There. And I'm going to pull these out. And I'm going to lay them down sideways here right away. And this is a beautiful placemat. Like, look at the leaf design in it and the butterflies and the flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right on top of the paper right there. I'm pushing it down a little bit, and I'm spraying the tea dye over top of it. I want this to be saturated. So now it's playtime. I'm going to work with yellows. So I want to kind of stay in the yellowish shades. So I'm going to add a little bit of infusions. This is Paper Artsy Infusions, and I'm going to sprinkle them over top of what I've just done here. So I have a limoncello, I have an orange county, and I have an emerald isle. So I'm just going to sprinkle some on here. And I have to go to the other side of the camera so I can see what I'm doing. Let me bring you to here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing right here, which is not very exciting. I am just sprinkling the infusions on it and spraying it again with the water. So this was the limoncello, or not with the water, with the tea dye. Can you see the colors come up? I'm just bringing you in just a little bit more. So I just want to lay this down right on top of that. And then I'm grabbing the next sheet and I'm going to lay it on top again. And you can see I'm not overly concerned if it is all straight or it'll give really neat designs. I do, however, want it to lay flat. There. Okay, let's put some more in here. Ooh, this paper ripped it a little bit. That's okay. And you can see can you see what's going on with this paper? So this has already been dyed a little bit. It picked up some of the colors from the onion skins. So I think that is going to look beautiful. Okay. So I'm gonna go back, spray this down with some more of the tea dye, and I'm grabbing another one of these beautiful placemats, and now I am going to put some of the Orange County infusions on it. So I'm just very gently sprinkling that. It's hard to see when you're just putting it on there. There we go. I can see it now. I can see it starting to do the magic thing. Oh yeah. Oh, it's got lots of orange on it. I don't think the camera is picking it up very well, but I can see it and it looks really cool. So now I'm going to just spray again to get the infusions to really work their magic, because they're crystals that dissolve in water. They're like a watercolor. You can paint with them, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. I love using them for this. And I never clean my placemats in between. So they have a lot of color on them, so I never know what color is going to come out when I am finished. And that's it. So that is what I am doing for my dyeing. We will wait until this dries and then I'll show you what came out of it. So it's the next day and it's had time to dry, but these are still a little damp because I just sprayed them down a little so that I can work with the designs in the paper. So all I do is I have my tea dye and I just spray a little bit more on there and let it dry again, but I'm not totally saturating the paper. Like just in little spots here and there. I'll create a puddle just for some interest and then I just let it dry again. I just want designs in the paper. This is just a little sneak peek into what will be part of it. Okay, so that can dry. I'm just going to wipe up the excess juice here. So let's run through the other parts that I've done. These I'm not going to mess with. I'll put them like this. So this is the onion dyes, and I'll put you a little closer so you can see better. So this is the onion dyes, and aren't these colors just fantastic? That amber and then the yellow and the oranges and browns. It is just amazing. It's beautiful. It is always a surprise. Oh, here's another one. This is kind of where I'm trying to get the other ones to go, is to have the big designs in there, because I just love that and I can do something with that. Here you can see the design from the placemat. And here it's a much fainter design, but it is there. Next is the tea dye with turmeric. And this did something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a yellow tone. And look at this. This is the most glorious rusty color I have ever seen come out of something. Isn't that just stunning? Look at these. And I didn't want to do too many because I didn't want to, I wasn't sure if I was going to like what came out of it. Well, look at these. They are amazing. If you can be in love with paper, I am in love with this paper. Like, look at the design, like the color changes in here. I am very pleased with that batch. Then we had the tea dye with the infusions. Let me see if I still have them out. No, I've actually put them away. I put them away. I don't do that very often. So can you see the faint pink tones right here? Here you can tell, here you can see the orange. It's very, very faint, but it looks beautiful. There's some greens and blues in here. Here's the orange from the Orange County. And of course, that's the placemat that I had laid over top of it. And it also turns to the back, right? This has some greens and browns and orange, and it's a mixture of things. I'm pretty sure this was the sage that I was putting on right here as well. Look at all the different colors. This has some blue in it because that is what the other side looked like. So I put the placemat on it, on the soaking wet paper, sprinkled the dilutions on it, and then sprayed it again with the tea dye. Isn't that fantastic? And then here you can see the ghost print come through. And that's the other side. So one is this is the bottom, and then the other one went on top of it like that. So it is actually a mirror image. So the insides don't have color, and here the insides have color. This also picked up some color right there. Here as well. And just some faint sage colors right there. This is all sage. That's what this does, is it turns into like a marble effect. It is amazing. It looks so much better in person than it does on camera. And this is also sage with the tea, and you can see all the blotches and stuff, and it just looks like a natural stone type of paper. So that was the results from my tea dyeing session. So I have some pretty amazing colors here. I love the sound of it. It sounds squishy. All right, so this is the first little bit that I'm showing you is just the plain tea dye. And then I went over it with some more tea dye, or with some more tea and just a little bit more. So that's how you get all the different variations in color. Same right here. There may have been a little coffee in there too, but like, look at the colors. Look at how that shimmers. And it's on the back as well. Look at that. Isn't that just fantastic? Almost looks like some kind of butterfly. I love these. Yeah, and this is just spraying water on it, or coffee on it, and tea on it, and letting it do what it does on its own. I am not forcing anything. This just happens. So we'll just quickly flip through it so you can see all the different color variations. Oh, look, has just a little spot, just a little one, but look how beautiful the leaves are from the placemat. They're on both sides. Kind of fold it over. Same right here. There's a little bit of infusions in here as well, but can you see how the design from the placemat came through? It's tough to see on camera. I like this one a lot. Yeah, this is beautiful. This side is gorgeous. And then we reach the onion. I'm just putting this aside. And we've reached the onion peels. And all the different tones of yellow, like yellow ochre and the rusty color, the amber colors, and then with the tea included. It is, oh, I can't wait to finish all my fall journals now, because this is going to look so fantastic in there. It's so pretty. I love it. I am very, very pleased with it. Like, look at right here. Like, yeah. Oh, look at this one. Look how the colors kind of bled into like a marble design. How stunning is that? This side is a little softer, but you can still see the blooms from whatever did that. So that was the onions. And then next is the paper where I had everything soaked in tea, and then I sprinkled the turmeric on it. And this is what came out of it. I will show you both sides of the paper, because this is the side that I had sprinkled the turmeric on and I've wiped it off. But this is the opposite side. It's so amazing. I love how it crinkles. Love the sound of it. I like the sight on here actually. And then, so that's all the turmeric. And then this is the infusions. And I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit so it might be a little easier to see. So you can see all the different colors. And this was the one where I sprinkled with sage. Like the sage infusions, I mean. So you got the blue and the pinks. Yeah. Right here, it is a little bit more obvious. Like right here, the marble effect. And all the brown spots, that is the walnut ink. That is the base of the infusions. It's just beautiful. And then this is the piece where, let me find the other piece first. So we took the placemat, put it on here, and then sprinkled it with infusions. And then we put this paper on it like that. So this is a ghost image. I like this one better than this one. Same with this one. I like this better than where the insides are colored. This is the other placemat, and this is probably the Orange County. Isn't that stunning? And in some spots it's a little lighter, and same right here. So this side you can't really see. You can see some of the color variations, but then on this side it is very, again, it doesn't come through on the camera really, but it's super orangey, peachy color. It's beautiful. And then this one is also a peachy, orangey color. It's too bad it doesn't show on the camera at all. And I want to work with the plain tea dye paper and with the turmeric paper. And I want to give it a little bit more. Not a lot. This one, for example, I'm not going to do anything with it. Well, maybe right here. This one, same thing. I will do something right there. So let me show you what I'm going to do. And I'll take this little one right away. And I have a couple of stencils right here. I'm going to pick a flourish, put it right there. And this is the regular tea dye paper. So I'm going to start with tea dye. It's my distress ink. I'm not using distress oxides for two reasons. I don't have them. Most important reason. The other reason is I don't think oxides do the same thing that the inks do. And then you get a little design in there. I want it to be a little darker, so that's why I pulled out the walnut stain as well. So I'm just going to take that. And I'm just going to go over it very lightly with a little bit of walnut stain. There we go. So then we get a design right in the middle of a design. It will be much easier to see when I take a big piece like this. And I think I'm just going to do the walnut stain. It'll give it a little bit more dramatic flair. And my walnut stain is in desperate need of a re-inker. So I'm staying on the darker spots. And I get beautiful designs in my paper. I don't have to do the whole thing, and I don't want to do the whole thing. I'm just doing little bits and pieces. And I think that's plenty. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to take one of these flowers and I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to use the tea dye. How pretty is that? Just a little flower inside the stain. And I'm just following the lines that I can see through the stencil. So I may overlap here and there, but that's okay. It gives the paper just that little touch of extra. I need something right there still. Just a little hint of color. And let me show you how that works on the turmeric, because I'm using different colors, of course. I want to kind of blend the colors in from here. So I'm using Wild Honey and Rusty Hinge. So I'll do the same thing. I'm going to use the Flourish. And I'm going to start with the Wild Honey. Oh, I just saw something. How pretty would that be? I need a little bit more. That's better. And then what do I have? Right here. I want to make a little bit of a flourish right here. Just to give the paper a little bit of interest, extra interest. It already looks really cool, but it can always be better, right? The wild honey is very juicy. Oh, I love it. It just blends so seamlessly with the turmeric. I want this piece right here. So I'm just going to lay the stencil on here, right there. I don't think I need the rusty hinge. I think all I need is the wild honey. I love the color with the turmeric. It makes it very, very nice and warm. Yeah. Let's do the same right here. Just like that. And then right here in the corner as well. How pretty is that? That just made that whole paper look completely different. I hope you are enjoying this, and I hope you're learning something. I'm not a fantastic teacher, but I like to show you what I do, how I do it, and I know I've had some requests about how I dye my paper. So I hope this explains how I do what I do. And if you are doing this, I want to see, can you send me a message and show me a picture, or I just want to see. There's always room for improvement. So if there's a way that we can improve, that I can improve on this, I want to know. So let me know what you think. If you have a different idea, like, just let me know. This is just so much fun to do because you're really looking at the paper in a completely different way. Because now I'm looking at the paper going, I wonder which color would look good with that, or how am I going to just make it pop just that little bit more. There. Stunning. I love it. I'm very happy with this. Here are the turmeric ones, and I'll zoom you out just a little bit. So this is the perfect combination of yellows and oranges. It blends very nicely in here. Same right there. I'm actually very pleased with how the turmeric ones turned out. And then we have just the plain tea dye. Let me find the papers that I did. So there is the very subtle flower right there. A little bit of flourishes. A little flourish right in there. Okay. So this one I did all the lighter parts with the tea dye distressing. And here I went inside the stain right there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There is so much different things coming, so many different things coming over the next few weeks. I have also seen some comments about the images that I put up online, or I put them up on YouTube, and that was including these. And I am going to work a little bit more with some very interesting things that I have found, that I have purchased at an auction, and I'm very, very pleased with it. I'm very lucky that I found what I did. That video will be, I will be showing that tomorrow. But it will be, I am going to work with these. So they are coming. There is going to be digital kits coming. And I'm excited about it. And I hope you're excited about that as well. So you'll have to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything about that. I want to thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your Saturday. And I'll see you tomorrow on Sunday.